Hello, welcome to BQ Prime. You're watching Q1 with BQ, and my guest today is from Garden Reach Shipbuilders and Engineers, Commodore PR Ravi, who is the chairman and managing director of the company. Commodore Ravi, thank you very much for joining us on BQ. It's a good set of numbers that came out in the first quarter. Can you take us through the kind of order book that you ended the quarter with?
Thank you, Mr. Sajid. Yes, our Q1 results have been very, very encouraging. And actually, it's the best in the history of the company, with our revenue from operations moving up by 30% year on year, and also the profit after tax by 54%. Now, coming to the order book position, we stand at a healthy 24,546 crores as on 30th June 2023. And this order book we expect to complete by FY27. This order book comprises of 4 projects for the Indian Navy, consisting of 19 warships, 3 P-17 Alpha advanced frigates, 8 anti-submarine shallow water crafts, and 4 survey vessels large. Of this, the survey vessel delivery of the survey vessels will start from the current financial year. The first ship is already being readied for trials, and we expect to sail the ship out for contractor sea trials in the coming week. So that is the level of project maturity that we have achieved. And 2 of these ships we expect to deliver during the current financial year, and 2 more in the next year. The P-17 Alpha is at a stage of construction wherein maximum revenue accrual is expected. All the 3 ships are at a stage where the equipment, major equipment, are going into the ship for installation, and that is where revenue accrual takes place. In the P-17 Alpha project, we have around 13,700 crores remaining for execution. So this is the current status of our order book. And we also have, in addition to the naval projects, we also have 1 project for the government of Bangladesh and 1 for the government of West Bengal. So as I mentioned, the peak years with respect to revenue accrual will be 24, 25, and 26.
Okay, you mentioned the fact that you are at a stage for P-17 Alpha where maximum revenue recognition will take place. If I'm not wrong, at the end of March, you had completed 50% of one ship and 45% of the second ship. How much of completion has happened, and what kind of revenue recognition we can see in FY24, FY23-24?
You're right. As at the end of the last financial year, we had achieved 50% one ship. Now we are almost at 55% the ship, and the second ship is touching 50%. And the third ship, the third P-17 Alpha, the last of the series being built at GRSE, is going to be launched on the 17th. That is 3 days from now, by the Honorable President of India. A momentous occasion for us. And this ship is also touching around 37 percentage of construction. Now coming to, I had mentioned that we have around 13,700 odd crores from this project alone pending for execution. And this being our maximum revenue earner. See, I'll put it in a different perspective. Till FY23, we were hovering, our overall revenue from operations was hovering between around 1,500 crores. Of course, in FY22, we had touched around 1,856 crores. We took a leap upwards in FY23 with us going to 2,561. And we are eagerly looking forward to breaking the 3,000 barrier in the current financial year.
No, my point was that now that revenue recognition comes into play for the P-17 Alpha, what percentage of the 13,700 of 700 crores of order book can be seen in converted into revenues now?
See, around 2,000, 2,200 odd crores. That is our expectation.
Okay.
In the current financial year. Okay. And I had mentioned that the delivery of these ships are planned from FY26 to 27. Yeah. So we intend completing this order book value within this period.
What about any other new order that you've received in the first quarter?
Yes, we received an order. Very interestingly, we received an order for manufacture of 30 mm. We are venturing into diversifying into armament manufacturing. We got an order approximately 250 crores from the Indian Navy for manufacture of 30 mm naval standard guns. That is an order which we received during the last quarter. And in addition to that, we have got orders on the Bailey Bridge segment and also on the ship repair segment. Of course, they are medium to low value orders.
Okay.
And what we are expecting.
Yeah.
What we are expecting is in the next couple of months, we are expecting the price bids of two of the Coast Guard projects to be opened. And we are aggressive in this bid, and we expect to stand a good chance to win these orders. But total order value of both these projects will come to around 3,000 to 4,000 crores.
Sir, you were also talking about the fact that the fast petrol vessel project is also coming up as a project pipeline. Where are we on that? Have you already put in your bids there? Because it's, I think, if I'm not wrong, 14 vessels which we are looking at.
Yes, there are two projects of the Coast Guard which currently the discussions are in progress. The bid evaluation is in progress. The price bids of the 14 fast petrol vessels and 5 survey vessels, 5 ocean-going petrol vessels. These are expected to be opened in the next couple of months. In addition to that, NCPOR, there is a bid which we have submitted, which we expect the order value to be around 800 to 900 crores. This bid is also expected to be opened in the coming quarter. That's the ongoing quarter.
So, if you look at your order book positions, is there going to be a big leap that you see in FY24 by the time you end FY24?
No, we don't see a big leap. What we intend, I had mentioned this at the end of the last financial year also, our target would be to maintain the order book around 24,000 crore plus, which means we'll be going aggressive with respect to order book, that is the revenue accrual during this year, and pad it up with fresh orders. I don't expect any major orders to come from Navy during the current year. Navy, as far as the Navy orders on the anvil, are the next generation corvettes. You see a corvette right behind me in the backdrop. So that is the next generation. This is the corvette which we have delivered for the Navy. The next generation corvette, we expect the RFP to come out during the next year, not this year, next year. And for the RFP to get translated into an order, we expect another year plus, which means the order to whomever it's going to will happen in FY25. Similarly, Navy is also expected to come out with the RFPs for 2 multi-purpose vessels. Order value could be to the tune of around 1,200 crores, and also 21 next generation water jet FACs. So these are broadly the orders which are likely to be annual in the next 1 or 2 years from the Indian Navy. Sir, Coast Guard I already covered.
Yeah, I know. Corvette project is one of the biggest projects coming up. I think nearly 8 ships up for grabs by you and other shipbuilders. How confident are you with respect to Corvette project, given the fact that you have already built 9 corvettes already?
That is our strength, and we will be very aggressive, and we will bid to win this, which means our confidence level is very high. In addition to, since you mentioned that next generation corvette is one of the big ticket items that is going to come up, 2 more projects are coming up, perhaps a bit behind this, 7 to 8 P-17 Bravo, that is the advanced frigate, the next level of ships, P-17 Alpha, currently we are building, we and Mazagon Docks are building. The next in the series will be the P-17 Bravo. 7 to 8 ships are expected to be, the RFP is likely to come out for 7 to 8 ships, plus the next generation destroyers. Now, we are one of the shortlisted shipyards for next generation destroyers. So these are actually big ticket items.
So, if you look at the pipeline for you, 25, 26, 27 are going to be big years because you're going to get all these big orders. Is there going to, do you need to have a capex plan in place to put the capacities in so that you can deliver all of them?
Yes, we have a plan already in place, and for information, we have invested in our modernization sometime during the second half of the 2010 to 20 decade, and we are good to go with respect to handling big ships. In addition to that, we are systematically investing to the tune of around 50 crores per annum to match the requirements that may come up in future. So in a nutshell, we are good to go with respect to handling big and small projects.
So what will
in addition, we are also, sorry. In addition, we also taken over three dry docks on long-term strategic lease from the Kolkata Port Trust. So, in case of a spillover, we'll be able to construct these ships there also.
Because I understand the Kolkata Post Trust is currently being used for Coast Guard maintenance and repairs and maintenance, if I'm not wrong. But my point is that what will be the total capacity or dry docks, which you will be having going into bidding for these big projects, whether it's for P7, P17 Bravo or the corvettes which are coming up for bidding in the next financial year?
See, as you rightly said, the most critical infrastructure that is required for shipbuilding is the dry dock or building dock or building berth. We have one of the best infrastructure in the country with respect to these facilities. Just to give an example, we have three shipbuilding units, all in a span of around 2 kilometers from each other, connected by a river. And in our main unit alone, we have four dock building berths, which is a major asset. In addition to that, we have a small facility, Rajabagan Dockyard, where we have again 3 dry docks and 2 slipways, that is building berths. So as far as the basic infrastructure that is required, the must-have infrastructure that we require, we have adequate capacity to handle the projects that are on the anvil from both Navy and the Coast Guard.
Sir, I was speaking to one of your competitors, Mazgon Dogs, and they've been also, very gung-ho about the same projects which you've been talking about, and they're building capacities so that they can do it. So that's the reason I was asking you whether you're going to expand your capacities further, because these orders together with the COVID, which will be 35 to 40,000, or with the landing platforms which are also going to come in, if I'm not wrong, 25 to 30,000 odd. They will take a lot of capacities and a lot of skill, bandwidth as well. So is Garden Reach positioned to take care of that?
A very interesting question, or rather, very interesting perspective. I'll put it in a different fashion. See, there are 4 of us, 4 different shipyards. Yes, Mazagon, I would not say a competitor, it's a partner. It's a Mazagon Docks, then comes GRSE, Goa Shipyard, and HS Hindustan Shipyard, plus Cochin Shipyard, plus Lasaran Tubro Shipyard. These are the 6 major shipyards who will be competing for the entire pipe that we have discussed. Be it the next generation destroyers, be it the next generation corvettes, be it new generation corvettes, be it the next generation water jet FACs, be it P17 Bravo, plus the LPD. What I'm trying to convey is that there is enough and more for each one of us to bid and win. So the competition at this juncture is not seriously a matter of concern. Yes, now coming to the capacity. All of us have got adequate capacity, of course, at varying levels. So for the pie that is available, collectively, I repeat, collectively, the 6 of us have got adequate capacity to meet the warship building requirements, both of the Indian Navy and the Indian Coast Guard.
No, I get that. Collectively, we have enough capacities in the country. But if you are going to be the lucky one, will you have enough capacities to deliver them on time? That's the question which...
Absolutely. And with confidence, yes, we have the capacity to build these ships. We have the infrastructure, we have the capability, we have the vendor base, and we have a robust project management system. We will be able to deliver these ships and meet the expectations of both the Navy and the Coast Guard.
You have ventured into ammunition part with the Navy gun, which is the 33 if I'm not wrong. You are working with an OEM for that. When do you see yourself being equipped to handle much more sophisticated projects? Because you are moving from not only warships but to weapons as well. And so, if that is the case, what is the kind of capabilities that you are acquiring to ensure that you bid for more of those projects which come your way?
See, GRSE by its name itself is a diversified company. We have a history of reasonable spectrum of diversification with respect to portable steel bridges. As you are aware, we are the leading market player in this segment. Of course, the market itself is small, but we are the leading market player in this segment. Plus, we have a marine diesel engine division at Ranchi. And we thought a plus deck machinery division, dedicated deck machinery division, where we build the deck-related machinery for the ships that are built by us and by the other shipyards. We thought, why not diversify into gun manufacturing, because it's an attractive segment. Yes, at this juncture, we are collaborating with the foreign OEM and their joint venture partners in India. We are starting in a modest fashion. We are actually testing waters. What we are confident at this stage is to achieve a reasonable amount of indigenization in the first set of orders that we have obtained, see where we stand, and then take a leap or the next step from them. So I expect that decision to be taken maybe a year from now. At this moment, as I mentioned, we are testing waters. Another interesting initiative by the shipyard has been the launch of a National Open Startup Challenge Gains, GRSE Accelerated Innovation Nurturing Scheme. I'm happy to inform that the response has been overwhelming. The kind of response from the Indian startup ecosystem has been really encouraging, and we are now moved on to the next phase where we have shortlisted the projects, and we expect to conclude and decide the winners. And after that, we'll be partnering and handholding the winners to ensure that the projects that we select are implemented. And these projects will be mostly based on green energy and new technology adoption.
Sir, coming back to the ammunition part of it, how big do you see in the next 5 years this business to be for you? I know you're testing waters and it's initial days, but my understanding is that ammunitions and weapons have a higher margin as compared to a shipbuilding, which is 7 to 8%, which is there. So is that the way the shipyard is planning to move, so that it is has a good mix of not only building ships but also weaponry, which accompanies the ship?
Okay, I'll answer this question in two parts. Our primary focus, like we are a defense public sector undertaking, which means we have been set up, we have been nurtured with the specific intent of meeting the warship building requirements of the Indian Navy and the Coast Guard. All the diversification that we have done and what we'll be doing shall be without diluting this primary intent. Yes, the next part of the question, what we'll be doing is a hybrid version where without diluting the core warship building capabilities, we have the capacity and the capability, and that is why we took a decision to diversify it into businesses other than shipbuilding. Now, as far as the gun manufacturing is concerned, there are enough opportunities available, because where there is a ship, there is a gun. With both the Navy and the Coast Guard expanding their fleets to almost by 100%, so naturally the weapon requirement also will multiply twofold. So the opportunities are there. But then again, I'll be cautious while moving ahead. Let us test waters over the next 1 year, see how it is panning out, how much of indigenization that we are able to achieve, and thereafter we'll take a decision how aggressively or how strongly we must move in this direction.
So do you expect all these orders to fall in place by 25, 26, 27? Because in the past we have seen these orders come in, acceptance of necessity happen, DAC clears it, and then it languishes on technical and other grounds for a longer time. Do you see things for moving faster this time, and orders getting placed much faster?
Definitely, yes. There was a time when, as you rightly said, the AON used to be accorded, and the AON to RFP to contract signing used to be inordinately delayed. But the situation has changed, and it is there for us to see. The way both the Navy and Coast Guard, and of course my ministry is moving ahead in this fashion, it was really impressive. I expect in the next 2 to 4 years, the orders that we placed on the Indian shipyards could be to the tune of plus 1.2 lakh crores. That is both the Navy and Coast Guard put together. There is a change in the entire way the system is functioning now, and things are moving fast. That is why all of us, all the Indian shipyards, including me, we have the confidence that what has been indicated as a requirement by the services where AON has been obtained, the translation from an AON to an RFP and subsequent contract signing is moving much faster. To answer your question, next 2 to 4 years, yes, we expect order fructification for the projects that I have mentioned.
Commodore Hari, it was a pleasure talking to you today. Thank you very much for joining us on BQ Prime.
Thank you, Mr. Ajit.